Hi guys, welcome to my review of Robert Piguet's Bandit, or Bandit if you want to say it in French. This is my my second kind of foray into this brand. I'm kind of not just getting into niche, but I'm kind of like a niche baby right now. I was lucky enough to win a huge lot of niche samples, so I've got quite a back catalogue to kind of get my nose on and get involved with. And you know, niche perfumes are, I would say, often more interesting and a lot more well blended and have much more interesting compositions and ingredients going on. So I'm going to get much more into it, but for now, this is Bandit, or Bandit. I love the whole thing about it. I love the name. I think Bandit's amazing. When I think of a bandit, this is supposed to be, you know, kind of the pirate kind of bandit. I think of the kind of mask wearing, hat, gun tooting bandit wearing leather, and it's reflected in the fragrance. My throat always kind of clogs up just about to speak. Anyway, it's a Chypre floral. Not my favourite category of fragrance. Chypres tend to have that kind of classic vibe. They're usually slightly green and dark, which isn't my favourite kind of category of fragrances, but you know, you've got to try them all. I'm constantly surprised with perfumery, and I've learnt that very quickly. So this was formulated in 1944. It's incredible. Like, that was before my mum was even born, so I always feel a bit like, whoa, you know, perfumery was going on from ancient times anyway, but you know, there were people formulating stuff and creating things with a theme like this, Bandit, way before I was even a sperm. So I'll go through the notes with you, as always. I've been wearing it all day, so it's been drying on me, and I've done a few touch-ups on my hands to kind of go through it and to smell it and really get involved with it. So I think I've got quite a good feeling of what this is. So the top notes are aldehydes, galbanum, bergamot, gardenia, ylang-ylang neroli, artemisia or artemisia, which is kind of also known as wormwood, that stuff you get in absinthe, and orange. Then the heart notes, your floral heart, is tuberose, jasmine, rose, violet and carnation. You've got some heavy hitters in there, and then you've got some real delicate flowers as well. And then the base is just astounding. It's like, could he have packed more heavy stuff in there if he tried? You've got a leather accord, amber, civet, kind of a controversial note. I think probably when it was formulated in 1944, it was probably real civet. If you don't know what it is, it comes from the civet cat, and it's kind of secreted from their glands, and it's a very animalic, kind of dirty note. Oak moss, not my favourite. Patchouli, vetiver, myrrh, musk and coconut. So the base is just pretty, I mean, I guess some of it's very typical of a Chypre. You normally have oak moss base, a citrusy top, and then a kind of, usually a labdanum heart or something quite heavy. This is a little bit flipped around in that way, but yeah. So I also don't know which kind of strength mine is. It comes in a few different ones, I believe. Eau de parfum, and I've read possibly even eau de toilette. I'm not sure how they differ, so I don't know. For the purpose of this review, I'm not sure. Mine's a sample, as you've seen, so I don't know which one it is. I'm just going to review it based on this smell. What this does on me is quite unusual. I mean, I've let it dry down on my hand quite a few times today, but obviously it's really dry on me right now. I'm going to spray it on this hand because I've got a good impression of it on this wrist. Oh god, it literally sprayed out in a jet then. That wasn't very good at all, but never mind. So, oh gosh, so yeah, when I first smelled it this morning, I was like, well, classic, very green opening. It's got the galbanum and artemisia, very green notes, and that is immediately there. And there's a few citrusy kind of tones flying around, but it's not the main part of it. The real feel of this is the greenery, but you can already feel the base pushing through. It is like, it's like they're trying to stomp over, the notes in the base are trying to stomp over everything that the top's trying to do, and it's kind of like a bandit, I guess. They're like, no, we're going to take your shine. So it's, I did think, oh, okay, this is, you know, a sheep product. I tried to not have preconceived notions, but it's hard. But I'm pleasantly surprised. Just to quickly say as well about aldehydes, it's a bit of a mystery to me, aldehydes. They have many different faces, many different facets. The experience that I've had with them is they're supposed to give a fragrance a kind of soapiness or a lift or a bit of a sparkle to a fragrance, and I think with this there is kind of that. I think of my most favourite aldehydic fragrance, which is Pour Femme by Dolce & Gabbana, and that has got a lot. And there is a kind of, it's very hard to describe aldehydes. I will one day nail it on the head, but for now, as I said, I'm a niche baby. It is a kind of airiness. Doesn't make any sense really, does it? But that's what aldehydes are supposed to do to a fragrance. But I think with this, there's too many other things kind of shadowing it and stuff like that. So that's just my point on aldehydes. You can feel the stronger flowers straight away. You can feel, I guess, a little bit of smooth ylang ylang, but it's more about the tuberose that starts to come through straight away. Tuberose and jasmine are the main kind of heart notes that I get, along with vetiver. The almighty vetiver is trying to stomp over everything else, and this leather record, it's like, give it a chance. Just take a back seat and let's let at least the other notes try and come through a little bit. But for a little while on me, I do get quite a circumference of quite a lot of stuff that's going on in the composition of it. So yeah, just to recap that, it's mainly greenery. It's like a heavy, kind of dry greenery. Not my style, but it's right. And then what this fragrance does is, because I've done this is what I've been thinking about all day today, it's like the heart notes and the base flip positions, and the base notes literally take over for about 2 or 3 hours of the dry down. It almost becomes a single note vetiver on me. Vetiver, of course, is a massively heavy note. It's very complex. It's very masculine. This fragrance is, you know, it's marketed for women, but boy is it masculine. You've got a lot of real heavy dark notes in there, and as I said, you do, as it's drying down, I do get for a little while the tuberose and jasmine. Everything else kind of goes away. Anything that was citrusy or light is going, but I don't think it's supposed to be a light fragrance anyway. This is a kind of badass, I'm going to slap you around the face if you test me or push my buttons kind of fragrance. So what happens then is this almighty vetiver just comes out of nowhere. It's like, hold on a minute, like, wait your turn, but no, it doesn't. And I get a real strong dry leather and vetiver for a good 2 or 3 hours. The florals are behind. They're not prominent, but kind of there, I guess, but not really. It's still kind of wet there, but in my head I know what it smelled like before. So that's what it is. I mean, it's kind of smoky. At the beginning is kind of wisps of citrus, but I wouldn't even really consider them important in this. I don't think that's what Piguet was going for when he made it. So yeah, and then the dry down of it is when it flips again. It's like the base was there, loads, after 2 or 3 hours, and then dry here, it's like it's flipped. I do consider vetiver to have, when it's dry, a kind of floral tone anyway. It's very, very weird anyway, vetiver. It's very masculine, dry, but it does have kind of pretty floral tones about it if you really, really smell it deeply. But when it's dry, this fragrance, the vetiver calms down a whole lot. and it's like some of the other flowers do get a chance to come forward, so it becomes more floral, like I said, but it's not the more delicate flowers that come out. It's more, I would say, the carnation comes out a little bit more. It's a little bit, if you can imagine, a delicate, spicy floral with still the backdrops of vetiver. It's a very complicated scent that just drives me mad. That's a sign of good perfumery. That's the end of my review anyway. Yeah, just to sum it up, it's incredible. It's from 1944. If women were walking around in 1944 smelling like this, they would kick us. I would love to have been walking around in them days and thinking, this woman smells like a man. Can you imagine what they were like? I can't even imagine what it's like. I don't know, but it's pretty cool anyway, I think. But yeah, that's my review of Bandit by Robert Piguet. And not the pirate bandit, the gun-tooting bandit. See you guys soon. Next I'm going to review the exact polar opposite of this. I'm going to review Calvin Klein's Euphoria for women. Couldn't be more different, but it's next on my list, so I'll see you guys soon. Bye bye!